a little video reply to somebody that was basically leaving some comments about the modifications done to a Lincoln Town Car. It's still going to be a big fat pig at the end of the day. To an extent, maybe. Not so much an accurate comment. That's more of an opinion than actual facts. Me being a professional master technician working on Fords at a dealership, I know that not to be true. And the reason I say that is if you put a taller gear set in your final drive, you're going to have better top end, but you're not going to have that low end torque. If you put a shorter gear set in your final drive, you're going to have better low end torque, applying force, and get up and move. An analogy that I like to use is you have a tailback and fullback on your football team, right? Your fullback, it's your powerhouse. That fullback is made and bred to get that first down, even the tailback to an extent, but move a little bit more. So there's kind of that sweet spot between your tailback and your fullback. You want things to be a little bit different. Your fullback is going to be more powerful, busting through that line, getting the first down. Your tailback's going to have a little bit more speed sometimes, not so bulky, and can get a little bit more than that first down typically, and probably run the field a little bit, right? Well, that's like your Lincoln Town Car. Your Lincoln Town Car, it was made to have some power, have a decent final drive, because most of them had a 327 gear set in the rear end with a 31 spline axle, but also at the same time be able to get up and move a little bit. Now, the final drive of the Lincoln Town Car, the way it was built, most of them came with a 327. Some of them did have a 273, but that was for more cruising, long distance. The 327 final drive was for more of that low end torque, a person that wanted the car to move a little bit more, depending on the application. I took the 327 gear set out of it and put a 373 gear set on it. I want this thing to apply, I want more torque and more power applied to the rear end, mainly torque. So my final drive is much lower than your typical town car. You can get in my car and pull up to a stoplight and take off, and it's like, oh wow, this thing moves pretty good. That feeling, that comfort of knowing that, wow, this thing's moving, man. This is nice. It turns it into that big fat pig fullback that not only has the power but has the speed as well. Now, are they going to run the entire field and get the touchdown every time? Absolutely not. But are they going to be able to get enough first downs to get that touchdown for the team? Absolutely. So my final drive is a 373 gear set. It's very fuel efficient in this car. It wakes this car up tremendously, and it makes it seem like a completely different breed. Now, you drive my town car compared to the standard guy's town car, it's night and day. The throttle response is so much better. How it picks up and moves is just very, very nice. Even on the highway, cruising at 70 mile an hour, just laying into the throttle to pass somebody, if somebody's if erratic driving and you want to get around them or something like that, it's so nice. That thing just scoots around and goes. Now, power applied to your final drive is important, because if you're in slippery, icy, other than desirable road conditions, obviously with a shorter gear set in your final drive, you're not going to have that comfort of taking off nice and easy. You have to be mindful of that. Could it possibly cause more wear? I would say yes, to an extent. But as a responsible town car owner, or any vehicle owner that changes things up like that, it's your job to understand that as the owner. I wanted something in this car to really make it wake up. Each modification to a car is individual to the person owning that car, and we all agree that, even the people that consider this car a big fat pig. Now, I've seen big fat pigs that change their life and learn how to dress up accordingly and make themselves very presentable, make themselves very desirable to the right eye, right? That includes male and females in life. Now, let's talk about attraction of human nature, right? There are men that like thick women. You can have a thick woman that doesn't know how to put herself together very well and not present herself very well, and just be completely unattractive to somebody. But you can have a thicker woman with just, smells good, looks good, keeps herself together, educated, and it just feels like it's something that you're comfortable to be around. And there are some men that are attracted to that. Not so much a big fat pig. It's a pretty desirable person in the eye of the right beholder, right? I so happen to like women that are very well put together and that are not slim, skinny women. That's kind of my thing. So when I think about the town car, it's the same thing. I like the town car, but I did realize when I got the car, it wasn't quite what I wanted. Could I take it and make it something that was more than just that big fat pig with just a few modifications in the least monetized aspect? Absolutely. This car is a joy to drive. But when I put the final drive in it and I kind of deleted the exhaust and stuff like that and gave it some of that growl, oh man, just the non-restriction, the better gear set and stuff in it, just like I was told from like the old timers that have been driving these things from the early 90s, that it's going to be a different car completely. You're going to really, really, really love it. Is it quiet? It's not quiet at all. It's got a nice kind of like Mustang GT, Mustang Cobra sound to it, and it's got that punch, that move when you want it to move, that you don't feel in a typical town car. So, modifications to a town car in a purist mindset, probably a big sin. But I'm not a purist. I like to take things that are factory and make them better. I like to make them more enjoyable. I like to make them perform when they're not supposed to perform, but yet still have that luxury, elegant type feeling. And that's what I have with this car. I have that completely. So where somebody may think that modifications to a Lincoln Town Car are worthless and they're still going to be big fat pigs, I would say your mindset is a little flawed. Maybe that's coming from a purist standpoint, but modifications to any car the right way can really make that car a much more enjoyable car. Thanks, guys.